But before we continue with our open forum and networking, to say a few words and to synthesize the various topics we had today at the PNA UK World Cafe Convention, it is my pleasure to introduce to everyone a proud nurse from the Philippines, advanced nurse practitioner in mental health, NHS 70 Windrush Awardee for Nursing Excellence, and PNA UK's Vice Chair, Mr. Dennis Singson.
To synthesize the whole day's event, obviously I would like to start and special mention to our colleagues, the convention director, Shelo Kanieha, our PNA UK research expert, who is the brainchild behind the abstract research and audit that we've had. We just thought, yes, networking is good. It would be really nice to meet up with all the Philippine nurses in the UK and all our friends, colleagues, and from different countries. But we also need to show how clever Philippine nurses are. And what's the best way, I guess, to do that, we thought would be to show our research projects. And we have received a lot of information. We had received a lot of abstracts and audits and research. That's why I'm sure I would really want to mention the winner's circle, if I can say that. Leo Almirol, who despite the technical glitch early on today, managed to relay the value of the research that he did about misplacement of PICs for power-injected CT contrast and the safety of efficacy of vascular access devices in patients who inject drugs. Two, dalawa lang naman. And obviously Alden Chua from East Sussex, from my patch of the woods, about thyroxine absorption test protocol for hypothyroid patients on high dose of thyroxine replacements. And unfortunately, one of our winners as well, who is still based in the Philippines, Jed Patrick Catalan, who presented his research on and entitled Still Forgotten: The Perception and Situation of Senior Filipino Gay Men Living with HIV. That would have been a really interesting topic too. But as I said earlier on the chat, all of these posters and research will be highlighted on our website and social media platforms. So please visit our social media platforms for more information and updates. And yes, and there had been a lot of questions on the chat room about, networking and talking to this incredibly intelligent guys, so we can pick their brains and try and see how we can maybe replicate the studies that they have done. So their details will be on the website too, so I'm sure they won't mind us networking with them and reaching out to them after today's activities. And of course, who will forget Mr. Peter Ruben Calixto, the former president of Northern California Philippine Nurses Association and now a current member of the Advisory Council of PNA in America. There's two things. I know he did say a lot, but there's only two things that really etched in my brain, is the importance of us proving our worth. And I think we're really good in doing that. We have always managed to leave our trademark in a way. And even before we come to our place of work, generally people already enjoy the fact that there will be a Filipino nurse working with them on that shift or on a particular day. And as he rightfully said, having a Filipino nurse or being a Filipino nurse is already a brand. So we have so much to live for. And I am proud to say that the core committee members and our PNA UK members are the perfect epitome of that brand. And of course, Lady Fergiliana, I was a bit choked up listening to her, talking about keeping the faith, saying about being most of the best nurses in the world being Filipinos, medyo, how do I say it, biased, but I know it's true. And it's not just us Philippine nurses or Filipino nurses that will agree with that. Even Yvonne said so. So it must be true. And just like Lady, I am proud to be one. And I can't even deny it because I look like one, but I am proud to be Filipino. And thank you so much, Lady, for your heartwarming and enlightening testimony. Testimony talaga. And then Dr. Tenda, gosh, advancing research in healthcare nursing. I mean, I've had my share of doing research thesis and dissertations in my life and in during my time in the academe. But when he was talking, some of it just went swoosh, straight up my head. I didn't understand some of the bits he was saying anymore, but I love the fact that he was also singing praises to our um, PNA UK core committee member, our dear Shelo Kanieha. I like that he said and mentioned about, being, if you wanted to do research, three keywords: persistence, and grip. That alone made me reach out for the nearest, strongest coffee, or GNT. I love that he saw doing research as a privileged position. And I agree that because doing something great now doesn't mean we can't improve on things anymore. And that's the beauty of research, isn't it? So we can continue improving the practice that you provide. And Howard Catton, the Chief Executive Officer from the International Council of Nurses. Yeah, I was dumbfounded when he said ICN has 130 National Nurses Association as part of their council. And I also love the fact that he said about ICN being and wanting to become the voice of more than 27 million nurses. Imagine 27 million nurses worldwide, because that's also what we're aiming for. PNA UK is aiming for and hoping to become the voice of not just one person, not just the core committee members, not just the officers, not just me or Oli, raising the voice of mental health nursing, but the voice of Philippine nurses in the UK, and hopefully even the voice of prisoners and Philippine nurses who are still back in the Philippines, hoping to come and join us here in the future. It is also fitting as well. He highlighted that we are currently and still is celebrating or commemorating this year as the year of the nurse and midwife. And coincidentally, that's also been extended to next year by the World Health Organization. So hopefully by next year, we can really put that celebration word into it and we can meet up, I am also really moved by him mentioning how mental health should be in the forefront of plans and services that we provide, because more than anything now in this unprecedented climate, we also need to look after our mental health too, and not just our physical health. And the indomitable Yvonne Coghill. I did say on the chat that I love her. I love this lady. Appreciating the true value of nurses in the healthcare. True, check. She talked about nurses being the most trusted profession in the country. 96%. Come on. And admittedly, I need to read more about this Nolan principles. I didn't know that before. And also, I wanted to thank her for reminding us about the disproportionate numbers of death between nurses and healthcare workers of color. And with regards to how COVID affected us, I wrote it on the chat earlier. There were 56 Philippine healthcare workers that died in England in the last few months during the first wave, and their names and photos. I've never really met them personally, but their names and photos will forever be etched in our hearts. And I am really proud to say that majority of the Philippine Nurses Association UK core members did our best in reaching out to their families and the people that they left behind to help them reach out and offer them help, advice, and support, and so that we can also signpost them to different agencies and specialist parts of the government so they can access help. I would also like to encourage our delegates to read more and familiarize yourself about racial microaggression. So it's really important, once you read more about it, you'd realize that, there's more to it than just a joke or him being funny. Because actually, it isn't funny. Last bits about what she said is that, one of my favorite slides for the day is when she said, nurses should be respected, paid adequately, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, us too, here in the UK, enabled, encouraged, kept safe, valued, and appreciated. We should also be empowered, supported, and be allowed to have continuous personal and professional development. I am really happy to know that majority of those does happen in the UK. So I would like to encourage Philippine nurses who are still based in the Philippines to come and join us here and join PNA UK. And of course, lastly, Oliver Soriano, my fellow mental health nurse, dalawa lang po kami sa PNA UK, raising the flag of mental health specialist in PNA UK. He is as you must have heard, he's the head of nursing in one of the highest positions here in the country for SLAM. South London and Maudsley. If you are into mental health and even working or studying in the Philippines, you should have come across SLAM already. He's our interim chair and ably doing so and supporting us and promoting what we stand for. I love that he reminded me all this names that I used to teach and I used to read about when I was still in the academy in the Philippines. Obviously, they're all dead now, but still, they paved the way for us and they allowed us to understand nursing a lot more and whatever. There's still so many things that we're doing now, which is a big thanks for all these nursing leaders who've paved the way for us from a long time ago. And I would like to obviously thank Ollie, for highlighting the value of the past and to enable us to continue moving forward and improving the service that we provide, the importance of collaboration. And at this point, I would like to thank everyone who attended the webinar. No, that's more just a webinar today, isn't it? It's the conference. And if you're thinking this is easier than doing it physically and being in one room, it's not. It's actually really scary. A few times a day, I've been cut off. I'd be like, how am I going to get back in? But anyway, I think we've managed to pull it out of the bag. I think we managed to do it well. I would like to thank, on behalf of PNA UK and being the deputy chair, I would like to thank everyone, our founding father, Michael Duque, and for all the core committee members and the interim officers, and all those who worked in the background to make today a possibility. And despite the technical glitches, I think we've done it really well. To Roger, to Michael, to Manon George, thank you everyone, for all our hosts and for all our guests, and at some point for all the 250 delegates and attendees today. Thank you for joining us. Before I logged out of the mainframe, I checked na we still have about 190. I was scared that there might only just be 20 left to listen to me close this event today. But I'm really, really pleased. Thank you. I won't nag-shout out na ako ng individual names, but I really, really want to thank you for joining us today. And I'm hoping you won't get tired of us just yet, because we're only just starting. You'll see more of us. You'll see more of our activities on my social media accounts and the PNA UK social media accounts. If you haven't followed us, if you haven't liked our accounts, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should have done it by now. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Over to
so
you,
much.
JC.
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much, Sir Dennis Singson. Yes, we're just only starting. There you go. Well, to all our friends, supporters, and colleagues, PNA UK hopes you have a wonderful learning experience today. Please feel free to contact us using any means possible. If you have not yet joined PNA UK, please do so by visiting our Facebook group or our website at www.mypnauk.org. Our links can also be found in the chat box. Our committee is constantly dropping it, continuously dropping it in the chat box. And please also complete the evaluation form and receive your e-certificate. The link is in the chat box, and you will also receive an email for the evaluation link. You can also find, again, the PNA UK on social media at facebook.com//PNA United Kingdom, or Twitter at PNA_UK nurses. Our website, again, is www.mypnauk.org. And if you want to reach us through email, please do so through info@mypnauk.org.